Hello, welcome back. I'm Mike with Mobile Elite Auto, and you're on with us with the show called In Between Two Lips. And the topic where we want to talk about today is the best place to get your car repaired. And today we have Warren that's going to we're both going to kind of talk through the things we've seen and just kind of what people are prone to do or get used to. And the options are either you're going to a dealership, you're going to a franchise shop, or you're going to a mom and pop independent shop. And we're just here to kind of talk about the options you do have or what you do now. And the first thing I want to say is go where you feel valued, where you feel like you're making that connection, you're getting that relationship built up to where you feel like they're going to just value you every time you bring your car in. They're not. They know who you are. They're familiar with your vehicle, and that you just feel valued. Do you have any thoughts on, dealership versus franchise versus independent
Well,
shop?
I would agree with that. That you want to go where they're at least listening to you,
Mhm.
and not you're not just a number. You want to go where you trust,
Mhm.
and that they trust that they're giving that. They're specialized in taking care of your vehicle,
Mhm.
and then the speed of service is there, and the cost is within your range.
Right.
But cost not being everything, like you said, the trust would be the number one thing that I would think that they're paying attention to you, listening to you,
Mhm.
and not overlooking what it is that the concern of the vehicle
Right.
and how fast you need to get the car back.
And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I go to the dealership because they're specifically trained for my vehicle." And what I have to say about that is, you have well-trained technicians everywhere. Like me, I've worked at a dealership, but I'm no longer at a dealership. So, just because that technician is, or you're not at a dealership getting a service, doesn't mean those technicians at those places didn't come from a dealership or come from somewhere where they were specifically trained for specific models. But you can get that everywhere you go. You can find that one person, or you might have your favorite mechanic that works on your car at that place. But what if he's not always available? Then you're just kind of stuck out, waiting for that person to come back to work or whatever. So I say you can get the same value that a dealership offers at an independent shop or at a franchise. It's just depends on the quality of technician they decide to hire.
I would agree with that.
Mhm.
That I would say that if they're not transparent enough that you can see what's going on in the back and meet the people that are working on your
Mhm.
car. I know at the dealership they kind of shun from that
Mhm.
sometimes,
Mhm.
but they still want the consistency
Right.
that the independent shops are doing it.
Mhm.
We see that more and more that they want that hometown feel at the
Right.
dealership.
That's
And
why they put the big window for you to
watch
look
them.
and not
Exactly.
see. Well, look, and you can't hear them, but you see, it's just a perfect environment and everybody's getting along. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the next thing I want to bring attention to is go where your vehicle gets fixed right the first time, which is a big deal. We hear story after story. I took my car here, they replaced this, replaced that, and the vehicle is in the same or worse condition than it was before I brought it here. And that's a big thing. The dealership I worked at kind of honed in on is portraying the atmosphere of bring your car here and that we're going to fix it right the first time. We even had a thing, called Fix It Right the First Time score, where each technician, they took track of every car you worked on, and then your customer would review it, or they would get a questionnaire, and each technician would get a Fixed It Right the First Time score. So it's kind of something where you can kind of monitor how you're doing and where you are as far as your fix rate.
Understood. Yeah, I would think that the technician would want to be on a constant. Uh, if you're if you know him,
Mm-hmm.
or you know the facility that you're going to intimately, that they're on a constant education process.
Right.
That they want to diagnose the car correctly
Mhm,
the first
mhm.
time, so they can do the repair the first time.
Right.
Taking the time that's necessary in the beginning, not just to get the money quickly,
Mhm.
but to find out what's going on with your car and then expedite services
Right.
to make sure
And
that you get it right.
sometimes that takes more time as far as on the front end, as far as the amount you're being charged for diagnosis. Do you want a free diagnosis that's rushed and yes, ma'am, you need this, and that? Or do you want to upfront pay for a diagnosis to where they can take their time and, you know, as, for instance, electrical problems, they can take their time and work their way through the trouble chart. And then they have a higher percentage of getting it right the first time. But if you're solely honed in on that free diagnosis, then you're gonna get what you pay for. So
Yes, and they're going to roll it in.
oh yeah,
To the,
yeah.
They're going to roll it into the repair. Because time spent is time spent, and
Mhm.
it goes to the transparency of the facility that you use and the consistency
Mhm.
that you want to get from your mechanic.
Right,
You don't
right.
want to. It doesn't benefit you to just keep hopping from mechanic to
Mhm.
mechanic, and everybody's trying to earn your business. You want them to take care of you the way you want to be taken care of, and
Right.
consistency will give you that. And it does cost money.
Mhm.
I mean, but there's a lot of value to be made. With
Right,
that.
right. Hopping around from sale to sale, or in a sense, you think you're saving money on the front end, but it's costing you on the back end. And what you were talking about, as far as, oh, you know, yeah, we'll roll it into the repair. Commonly used as a practice that, yeah, we're going to take that hour diagnosis that you were going to pay, and we'll just split it between all the rest of the job. So it's something that we don't do here at Mobile Elite Auto. We won't tell you that, yeah, we're rolling it into the repair and just add it to what we're going to charge you for the repairs on the back end, which is just kind of what we've chosen to not do, is to be upfront in a sense, and just let you know that, you know, we have to pay for our technicians' time and for them to take their time and to get that vehicle fixed right the first time. It takes time and it takes patience. So, and unfortunately, in this day and age, that's not free. We have to charge for that. But and I don't want to say we pride ourselves, but we like the fact that we can stand on that basis that, yes, we're charging for diagnosis, but we're not just going to waste your time or waste your money, that we're actually on the grind, you know, as soon as you approve it, trying to see what's going on with your car. So
Yeah, I think that people don't realize that they're paying whatever the amount is. You know, $100, $200, $300 for a diagnosis, and
Right.
sometimes that technician is pinpoint testing for 3 or 4 hours
right.
before he knows exactly what's going on, because accessing the points on the vehicle that need to be tested in a process
Right.
takes a lot longer than just 60 minutes.
Right. And then you know, I've told, you know, several customers on the back end, yes, we're only charging you an hour or 2 hours depending on how many concerns you have, but in specifically electronic diagnosis, would it be fair for us to charge you? We hit a clock, and if it takes us a 24 hour, you know, say 24 hours over a week to hone in on just a crazy electrical problem, would it be fair for us to charge you for 24 hours? So we're kind of transparent in that. You know, sometimes, you know, we'll both jump on a car, even though it's just 1 hour diagnosis, to hone in on and see what's going on with it. But we try to be fair with what we charge. You know, we probably could be charging way more, but we just want to get the car fixed. So
Yes, we want what you want.
right.
I want my car back. I
Mhm.
want it done right, and I want you to be available if something's wrong.
We want the car in, diagnosed, fixed, and out, and so we're ready for the next one. So that's our main goal. The next thing I want to bring attention to is go where they only perform the repairs you need. You know, again, coming from the dealership to where, yes, we're going to fix the car and what it needs, but we're also going to sell you every flush we can. You know, yes, you know, it's some products that we agree with here and that we use, but every single flush on every single car at the intervals that some franchises or dealerships do it at, it's really overkill on some of the stuff. But you know, being at a dealership, we're yes, you're going to get that $50 oil change, but while you're in, we're going to try to sell you every flush that we offer, and to keep you on that interval doing them every 15,000, 30,000, whatever it is. Yes, you can't over maintain it, but is it necessary? You have any thoughts on that?
I would say if it's maintenance,
Mhm.
you need to just verify that the facility that you're using
Mhm.
is going by the regularly scheduled maintenance,
Right.
because we see it our whole careers where they'll say they need it at 30, 60, 90,
Mhm.
and now a lot of times the cars, they don't need
Right.
it at 30,
Right.
60, 90. Some things are not done until 100,000 miles.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
if you're not changing at 100,
Right.
then what's the point in wasting your money to do
Right.
it? But yeah, as Mike said, you can't over maintain your car, but changing the oil every 1,000 miles or something would be ridiculous.
It's
I mean,
overkill.
and the same with the other fluids. I mean, if a brake flush is independent of brake service,
Mhm.
is it really necessary?
Right,
I mean,
right.
we would probably try to want to do it with the brake service.
Right.
You know,
Right.
fuel injection clean, you probably want to do it with a tune-up,
Mhm.
not just independently by itself. Combined services are probably a better way to maintain the
Right.
systems.
Right. And I know it's a lot of and I would say I call it old school thinking, but a lot of elderly people that they're just honed in and they're on the where I need my oil change every 3 months or every 3,000, and some of them will get in and the oil looks brand new, but they're stuck in their ways of I have to get this oil change. No matter if I'm driving the full mileage or what. They're just that's just a moral or standard that they have that they were they grew up on and they stick to it.
And
So
they do stick to it, and we're
Mhm.
more than happy to oblige to that.
Mhm.
And whatever facility you use,
Mhm.
they want to be able to listen to you and
Right.
give you what you're asking for.
Hopefully.
as long as long as they're educating you on
right,
if you really need to do it or if you really not need to do it.
right,
Basically, a plan. Are they giving you a plan for the future? These are things that you should think about. It's not necessary absolutely today,
Mhm.
and if they're just throwing estimates at you, you got to be mindful about that. You
Right.
reevaluate your situation and your relationship with the shop.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's all.
And one question I get asked by several customers is, "Hey, can I have this many miles? What are the manufacturer's recommended services for it?" And a lot of people don't ask that when they go places because if somebody's coming to you and they're trying to sell you every flush in the book, your question should be is what does the manufacturer recommend? Because there's a lot of flushes that you won't find in the owner's manual. It won't tell you to flush the brake system or whatever. It has specific things that you do at specific miles, which comes in like a little book, in the car that's normally like in where your owner's manual is, and it'll tell you exactly what they recommend. Anything else is outside of what they recommend. So.
Yeah, and nowadays a quick Google search
Mhm,
will
mhm.
give you, a basic what is needed on certain models. I mean,
Right.
that's easily found and easily cross-referenced. I mean, when in doubt, go ahead and research it, and
Mhm.
then when you reach a shop that you trust, then you just have to trust them.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you can't be questioning every single thing that they're
Mhm.
doing at that point. If that's the relationship that you have with the shop, you really need to find a different
Mhm.
mechanic that you do trust with your car,
Mhm.
and because they're taking your families into their hearts,
Right,
really, and
right.
they care about you, and that's where you should take your car, whether it
And-
be a dealership
Right.
or a franchise or an independent,
Mhm.
which could be an independent could be a ninja team.
Right. Right.
I mean, that might be just what you need.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that we see, I don't know if we see it a lot. Yeah, we do see it a lot. Is we've looked at a car, we've serviced something else went wrong with their car, and basically, like you said, they're shop hopping. Oh no, I already had that done at this shop, or I had it done at this shop. Then you don't build that rapport, and there's not really that personal touch because technicians talk. We talk to technicians at several different dealerships or franchises or whatever. So we all talk. So we know if hey, that car was just over there or that car was over here, and then it kind of I don't know if it rubs different shops the wrong ways because we do talk. I'm not saying we talk to every shop that's in this area, but a lot of technicians that have been around for a while, they keep in communication no matter where they work because sometimes we bump ideas off each other. So
Yeah, and I'm just popping my head in about truth. If your mechanic that you trust makes a mistake and he owns up to that right away and says, you know what, I misdiagnosed that,
right.
man, that says a lot to me. I mean, it does, because we're just human and we do make mistakes, and the person that admits fault
Right.
would be, and backs that,
Right.
would be one that I would prefer to stick with.
And that's where a lot of places say, "Oh, we're transparent." That's the ultimate form of transparency. Is, hey, while we were doing this, we thought, we went left when we should have went right. You won't have to pay any more money. The things that it needs, we're going to take care of. That's the ultimate transparency. It's not, hey, they messed my car up and I'm never going back there again. We like to check in. Hey, last time you got that fixed, hey, how's it going? And sometimes that follow-up does unveil that, hey, excuse me, it is still doing something, but I took it somewhere else. We want to know if we missed the mark.
Yes,
so that we can better
absolutely.
ourselves.
Absolutely, as with anybody in any industry, they want to know if they're doing it, and especially in this, marketed world that everybody's asking for the yes, yes, for the yes. If no is the answer from my customer that I didn't fix their car, I want to be the first to know, not the last to know.
Right. Yeah, that's very important to us too, because it helps us on the next car that's like yours. We know that, hey, yeah, we got it wrong that last time, but we can correct it, and you'll help others that have that same car fix their issue. So
exactly,
it's kind of education for us too. We're not where we are, and we don't know what we know because we haven't made mistakes. It's kind of, we have a database in our brain of different mistakes we've made and how to prevent that from happening again. So
I agree.
Got you. And as far as different places to take your car, make sure they back their repair. And that's one big thing, because we do mobile and in-shop repairs. We'll give a quote to somebody to come out mobile, and they'll say, "Oh, well, I got Joe Schmo to do it for $50." But be very, I don't want to say be leery of that, but is that person going to disappear if you have an issue with that, 3 months down the road? So are they going to, yes, you got, you save money on the front end because, he did it for $50 or whatever. But if you have issues with that car and you're broke down on the side of the road, can you call that person, or are they going to back what they did for you?
That goes without saying. We have run into so many people that were helping other people, and it ended up being a worse situation than what they started with.
Right.
No different than some person, something wrong with their car, and they YouTube it, or they check this out, or AutoZone printed out a big thing that they're calling a diagnosis that isn't a diagnosis, and they just buy a bunch of stuff for their car, and they spent twice as much as what a diagnosis would have been. So trying to save money by not going to a reputable place that would back their repair for at least a couple of years.
Right.
I mean, at least a couple of years. And then you have the, not just peace of mind, but you have peace of you're going to get your car fixed again nationwide. I mean, so that's pretty good.
Right.
That's just how it should be.
Right. And I'm partial to, I want to say a franchise maybe, and independent dealerships or independent shops, because most of the time they're going to back the repair longer. Every dealership I know, and y'all can comment below if you know different, but every repair is only back with a 12-month, 12,000 mile warranty, which is not long. As far as mileage, if you drive a lot, you're going to pass that warranty period up quick. So keep that in mind of, the ones that say I only go to a dealership, because you're only going to get that 12-month, 12,000 mile warranty on it.
Yeah, which is average.
Right.
And
right.
We all live in an above average world now. I mean, we're in the DFW, and people are driving all over the place.
Right.
600 miles in a couple of days is nothing.
Right. And then you're out of warranty, and that's as far as parts and labor. it's just not going to be covered. So that's one thing to think about for those that say I only go to the dealership because. So other than that, you can find good techs anywhere. So
I don't know if I agree with that statement.
I got you. Yeah. All things
you can find good techs.
Right.
You can. You just need to ask the right questions, and when you find one, you need to be loyal to them.
Right.
And loyal to yourself within a range.
And ask questions. Don't just assume what they're telling you is truth. You need to know the basics. Google the basic things to know about your car. I don't know, but you need to ask questions and not just go with what they're telling you. It's kind of like a salesman trying to sell you something, and everything he's telling you, yeah, that's great. They love you and they love to see you coming because that's Miss Johnson. Everything we tell her, she believes it.
Yeah, I would think that's the hardest thing that I have as a technician in the field is going against that used car salesman attitude that they have towards mechanics. I just want to help you.
Right.
And I want customers and people that are driving around, I want you to go to a person that wants to help you first and know that you're going to help them with by paying them.
Right.
I mean, not paying them first and then they're gone.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Accessibility, transparency, the one that explains the fine print to you a little bit before you make the decision on a huge repair, not just doing a huge repair, for the sake of doing a huge repair.
Right. And as far as explaining to a customer what's going on with their car, we'll go as deep as they want to go. If you want to get technical and you want us to show you the wiring diagrams and where power goes, we can do that. We try to keep it at what level you're willing to receive or that you can receive without the deer in the headlights look. We want to explain it to the level that you want it explained, and we want to simplify it as much as you want it to be simplified. And if you don't care about either and you just want your car fixed, we can do that too. So,
yes, sir.
I think that's all that I had. Is there anything you wanted to add about?
No, I think just wrapping up on the independent versus the franchise versus the dealership. My main word for it is trust, and trust and transparency. Again, that there's a lot involved in it, and I know cost is a big factor on it, but cost shouldn't be the main factor. The main factor should be that you trust the person that you're bringing your car to, and it could be a family member.
Right.
I mean, if that's it, or it could be like some other families. It can't be a family member.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Whatever the case may be, but trying to just search that deal out always. Money can't be the main factor. The trust has to be the main factor.
And one thing, maybe we said something about it earlier, but do-it-yourselfers. If the only thing you've done on a car is an oil change and you're trying to tackle replacing my caliper and brakes, I would say think twice. We get a lot of situations where I tried it and it didn't work, and now my car is worse off. And no, your repair is not going to be cheaper if you tried it on your own and you messed it up. It's probably not going to be.
Yeah, but I have it halfway
price.
Taken apart.
Right. I did have to work for you.
It's already taken apart.
So basically, we have to undo what you did, and now we have to do the repair right. So we try to be fair on that and price ourselves accordingly with that. But to be fair, it's probably going to cost you more money if you attempted it, messed it up, and somebody had, we have to come back behind you on that. So.
Yes, at least get a professional technician to come and stand alongside you, give you a class if you know somebody that would do that.
Even if they're just sitting watching you, hey, don't do that.
Yes.
And the other day, Warren, he jokingly said, we're going to start something to where we'll FaceTime you or Zoom you while you're doing the repair, and don't do that. You're kind of like that dad over the shoulder. Teaching you how to do something for the first time.
Yes, make sure that your tools are correct.
Right.
Make sure that your hands are in the right spot, doing the right thing, taking the right things off, because we do see it and we do hear about it. Oh, I took the whole brake line off. Well, totally unnecessary for what they were doing. Or
that's the only way to do it
right. I took the
right.
intake manifold off,
right,
to reach a bolt that I should have never taken that off.
Right.
So knowing what you're doing before you do it.
Gotcha. And back to Google or whatever videos you're looking at. A lot of parts are skipped. The frustration, the mess ups, all that's going to be cut out. So the cussing, the busting of your knuckles, all that's cut out, and all you see is just hey, I started it. Everything went perfect. You won't have an issue. The video is 5 minutes long, but the job really takes 3 hours.
Yes.
But all the struggle and all that gets cut out. So you think, oh, I can do that. It kind of empowers you. So, yeah, just think about that when you're watching
cautious.
those videos. Yeah,
Be cautious.
Be cautious about it, and and I don't want to murder this, but measure twice, cut once.
No, that's not murdering it. That's a real thing.
Well, I don't know. Find 10 videos where nothing's being cut out before you think you're going to attempt something. And if you are doing the do-it-yourself repairs, be prepared for your car to be down. Have a backup plan, a backup vehicle to drive, because sometimes we'll come across customers. Yeah, I did it myself, but it took me a whole weekend, and that's something that probably would have took a professional, an hour or two.
Yeah.
But
plan your Uber.
Right. So, and if things don't go as planned and you drive it and you're stuck on the side of the road, another statement, something that Warren says is keep your phone charged up and
Stay in a populated area and keep
Right.
your phone charged, you'll be fine.
you don't have to worry about anything. So, I think that's all we have, and we're going to wrap it up on this segment. But we just thank you guys for taking the time to sit and listen to us. And if you have any comments or things that you would like to hear about or to hear talked about, you can leave a comment on this video, and we'll be happy to address it. So just thank you for taking the time to listen to us, and we'll see you on the next one.